Build your DIY voiceover demo the right way. Hey there, voiceover people, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about your demo, and this is your very first demo in VoiceOver. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is that a lot of people, when they first start in VoiceOver, they hear about demos and that you have to have one, but they might not have the money to actually invest in a professional demo that's going to cost you several $1,000s. So today I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process to create your own DIY demo from scratch. Now this should be polished enough to at least get you started on sites like Fiverr, Upwork, maybe ACX, without spending thousands of dollars on a professional demo yet. But I'm also going to talk about when you should not use this demo. That's for places like production houses and any kind of direct marketing. Remember, a DIY demo should only be used on freelance sites and just to kind of showcase your work at that level. And if you want to learn more about how to go beyond your DIY demo and work your way into more professional market-ready demos, as well as all kinds of other stuff regarding voiceover and how to become a full-time voice actor, feel free to check out the VoiceOver Blueprint. That's my all-in-one training program. There's a link in the description and pinned comment below where you can book a free call to learn more. So check it out. First, I want to talk about why you even need a demo. And the reason why is because your demo is your calling card. It is how you show potential clients what you can do for them. And of course, there are several different kinds of demos, but the one we're going to talk about today is just doing it yourself as just an entry-level demo. Another great thing about doing this first one yourself is you learn how the sausage is made. You learn how to find the scripts and add music and sound effects and make it sound like a polished, real commercial. So here's the thing though. There are two different kinds of demos that you can go with. The DIY demo, which we're going to talk about today, and then the professionally produced demo that is where you can kind of level up and go out and start marketing to pretty much everyone at that point. See, if you're new to VoiceOver and you're just kind of figuring out your sound and the kind of work that you want to pursue, you don't need to go spend thousands of dollars on a demo. Now, there is a point when you should do that, but right now we're talking about just the very beginning when you just want to kind of figure out how this whole VO thing works. So the demo we're going to talk about today is going to be great for entry-level work like Fiverr, Upwork, maybe ACX, just a way for you to kind of take that first step in VoiceOver. So it's really meant to just get you in the game, get your foot in the door, and it'll give you the ability to attract some of those, entry-level jobs that you can then build upon that when you work your way up the ladder. But, and I'm going to say this several times in this video, this is not the demo that you should use for any sort of direct marketing, marketing on social media or direct email marketing or cold calling or any kind of mass marketing that you're going to do to production houses and that kind of thing, or even agencies. This is just entry level. Think of your DIY demo as training wheels. It's a way for you to ride while you're learning without wrecking your overall professional reputation. Okay, before we even get into building the demo itself, let's talk about your niche. And a lot of people, this is where they get stuck because they don't realize what kind of niche they even want to go for yet. Some people are interested in doing character work. Other people are wanting to do commercial work or narration. And to that, I say, the first thing that most people will create as a first demo would be a commercial demo. The reason why I like to start with a commercial demo is because it's a good way to show your range, because you can have lots of different styles all within this one demo. And it's also what people are kind of used to hearing first the most. Also, you want to stick with one genre per demo. So you want to make a commercial demo. And then if you do want to do character work, you can do a character demo. Then you can do a narration demo or an explainer e-learning demo. But just make sure that each demo is not kind of an amalgamation of all kinds of different styles. Just stick to one genre per demo. Okay, next up is finding your scripts. Now there's a lot of places that you can find sample scripts online, and those can be hit or miss. I've found that the best way to find scripts is YouTube. So when you hop over to YouTube to find scripts, I like to tell people to use scripts for products that you actually use. What kind of car do you drive? What kind of food do you like to eat? What are your hobbies? Find scripts from those, and here are the styles you should look for. You're going to look for high energy, conversational or guy next door, girl next door, maybe something that's warm and caring, like a bank ad or a PSA or something like that that's very warm and sincere. For females, we'll do something like a sultry or a flirty one. For guys, maybe a real rugged and manly one. And the idea is to make the overall feel of the demo with a lot of variety. Now, regarding length of the length of the demo should be about a minute to a minute 15. And that should consist of about 5 to 6 spots of lengths of about 10 to 15 seconds each. That should be long enough to show the variety that you've got, but still short enough to keep people's attention spans. Okay, so your next step is going to be to re-record those demos. And the way you do that is you find the scripts or the videos on YouTube, you go to the transcribe feature on YouTube and you transcribe the video, and then you re-record the video in the same style as the original, just trying to get as close to that as possible. All right, so next up is the actual recording, and that's going to require you to have, obviously, a computer, a decent microphone, a DAW to record into. A DAW stands for Digital Audio Workspace, and it's a way for you to record your voice and then go in and edit. But once you have all that lined up, and then, of course, you also need a very quiet space in your house. Assuming you have all that lined up, now's the time to do the recording. So what you want to do next is you want to record each of these scripts separately on their own file. Once they've all been recorded, you've taken out your mistakes, you've run any kind of presets or effects that you're going to add to that, then save those to your computer. You can record these 2 or 3 times on a single file and just keep the best one. Don't just take the first take. Practice over and over again. See, get to know the script. Once you have a good take that you like, delete all the bad stuff and just keep that one good take. Now, another thing you can do is you can piece it together. So if, for instance, you like the way you said this one thing on the first take and maybe the second thing on the second take, just cut and paste those and put them together and put together a read that you're happy with from beginning to end.
And now for something completely different.
Hey guys, just a quick break here to let you know that the application window for the VoiceOver Blueprint training program is now open. The VoiceOver Blueprint isn't just a bunch of prepackaged videos. It's the most comprehensive voiceover training program in the known galaxy. When you join, you'll get live instructional webinars every day covering marketing, tech, performance, casting sites, and more. Plus access to a private Facebook group where you can ask questions, get feedback, watch me work in live voiceover sessions, contests, and tons more. You'll also unlock a full library of on-demand video training modules, special discounts on demos and partner programs, and exclusive one-on-one coaching with VO experts. New members get a 30-minute onboarding call with me just to make sure you're off on the right foot. Plus, dedicated US-based member support every step of the way. Book your call now to learn more in the description and the pinned comment below.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
All right, next up is adding the bells and whistles. And that would be things like music or sound effects. And once again, you want to use the original commercial from YouTube as a guide here. If the original commercial had, a car whizzing by or, traffic sounds or a dog barking or whatever's in the original video, you want to try to replicate that as best you can on your demo. Okay, first I want to talk about music. There's several places where you can get music because you can't use the one from the original spot because it's got the voice mixed in with it. So you have to find some music that still kind of has the same vibe as the original, but is not the original. The one place where I tell most people to go for free music is the YouTube Audio Library. And that is a free source for royalty-free music that YouTube creators can use. But you can just go there if you've got a YouTube account and download music and sound effects for free and add that to your demo. Now, there's plenty of other sites out there for royalty-free music, but some are pay, some are free, so you can just do a Google search for royalty-free music and you'll get a whole list. Some of the ones that I prefer, I actually pay for a subscription to Storyblocks, which is great because you can get not only just music, but also, stock footage and images and sound effects and all kinds of stuff. So that's my preferred place, but there's plenty of places out there to find free, royalty-free music and effects. Speaking of effects, one great place to find good free sound effects is a place called freesound.org. And what's great about this site is that it's free to download sounds, but it's user-generated content. So if you create an account, anyone with an account can upload sounds, and you'll be able to find so many great sounds on there that you may not be able to find anywhere else. All right, so once you've recorded and saved your audio files, you've downloaded the music you're going to use for your background, your sound effects as well. Now it's time to put this bad boy together. And this is where your multi-track editor in your DAW is going to come in handy. So your multi-track editor, depending on which DAW you have, is going to be the place where you can layer in these things and mix so that you have a well put together and realistic sounding commercial. And what you want to do is you want to create each commercial separately, and then we'll talk a little bit later about putting them together as one complete demo. But work on each spot individually. Put in your voice file first, maybe in track 2, put in your music. In track 3, 4, 5, 6, put in all your different sound effects. Just make sure that when you're putting in sound effects, that you put them all on their own track, because you want to be able to control the volume of each sound effect independently. And if they're all on the same track, then that one volume controls all of them. So make sure that you put your independent sound effects on their own track. Next up is your mixing. And your mixing is going to be very important because we definitely don't want to overpower your voice. A lot of people tend to turn up the music a little too much and it overpowers the voice and you can't really hear what they're saying. Because remember, the voice is the most important part here. So when it comes to mixing music with your voice, less is more. So always err on the side of less volume than more volume. So you want to play around with this a little bit and just kind of trial and error and see what sounds best. Okay, once you've got each individual spot fully baked with music and sound effects and you like the way they sound, now it's time to do the snippets, I call it. And the snippets are going to be the individual pieces of each spot that you're going to put in whatever order we choose in your main demo. Let's say you record a 30-second spot for Honda. Well, you can't use that whole 30-second spot because you multiply that times 5 or 6 and your demo would be way too long. So what you do is you take each spot and you pick the best 10 to 15 seconds of each one. And once you've got those saved out, you want to keep the originals, but keep those snippets saved out because those are the snippets that we're going to use to assemble your overall demo. Next up, we're going to get into the DAW again in your multi-track editor, and we're going to take those snippets and we're going to put them in an order that we feel showcases your talent best. So I like to say, use your strongest performance first because you want to grab the listener. Next, you want to make sure that the order that these spots are in are not the same. So in other words, if you start off with a very high energy read, maybe the next one should be the warm, caring read because you want people to keep guessing as to what you've got coming up next. So you're going to have 5 to 6 spots of varying styles, back to back to back, and most editors will allow you to do something called a crossfade, which means that you take a single spot and you take another spot and when you bring them together, they overlap and it will fade one out and fade the next one in seamlessly so that there's not a hard edit between each spot. If for some reason your DAW doesn't allow that, then you can manually fade one out and fade the next one in when you're stacking them in your multi-track so that there's no silence or hard edits in between each spot and they seamlessly flow one to the other. Now, the reason why you want to start with your strongest work and always keep them guessing is that people have very short attention spans. So you have about 5 seconds or maybe even less to grab them at the top of the demo. That's why you need to put your best work first and then keep them guessing throughout. All right, once you've got your demo assembled, go ahead and export that as a WAV or an MP3. Now, the difference between those is a WAV is a higher quality file. It's a non-compressed file. The MP3 is a compressed file. I always advise people to save both kinds because Some places will only accept MP3s, but the higher quality file is a WAV. Some people actually go the extra mile and they add video footage to their demo, where you take the actual commercial footage from YouTube or stock footage and you put that to the audio to make it not only sound like the real thing, but look like the real thing. I highly recommend people do this for their professional demos, but if you feel like you want to do this for your DIY demo, you can do that too if you have that skill set. But it's a way to appeal to more senses than just the ears when you're putting that out there. Now, since we're talking about using real scripts and possibly even real footage for your demo, a lot of people may think, oh, what's the legal aspect of that? How can I use that stuff for my demo? And the reason why is that first, you're not making money off of their product. You're just using a little snippet of their product, commercial, to showcase your own skills. There's something out there called the fair use doctrine. And if you want to Google that, you can look it up and learn more. But it's a way for you to use very small pieces of other people's videos just for your demonstration purposes only, since you're not really making money off of their product. So once you've got your audio and or video ready, then you can start uploading that to all your profiles like your Fiverr, Upwork, ACX, if you want to start, getting some of that entry-level work. And hopefully, as you continue to build your income off of that, you can then reinvest in a professional demo. And once you get your professional demo, then the sky's the limit as to who you can reach out to. But just remember, the very first demo that you do, this DIY demo that we're talking about today, do not, capital letters, do not do direct marketing with that demo. Only do direct marketing with a professionally produced demo. The main reason for this is that commercial production companies and those kinds of outfits, they can smell a DIY demo a mile away. And remember who you're up against. You are up against every professional voice actor out there with their professional demos. So if you start marketing a DIY demo that's not quite up to snuff, then you lose that all-important first impression. Next, I want you to keep practicing and keep updating your demo. As you get training and learn some more skills, keep refreshing the demo. Keep adding to it, changing it. Change the order if you feel like people are responding to maybe the third spot in the demo. Move that up front because that's where people are actually resonating. Always mix it up, and as you improve it, you'll be able to hear the difference. Okay, to recap, first thing you want to do is decide what genre you want to do your demo in. Is it going to be commercial where you can show a lot of range, maybe a character demo, narration, audiobook? Pick one that you feel will suit your skill set the best. Next up is hop over to YouTube, find some script examples and transcribe those. Save them to your computer, and then re-record those. Following that, you're going to add your bells and whistles, like your music and your sound effects and your DAW from places like the YouTube audio library or freesound.org to get your sound effects, and start working on the mix in your multitrack editor. Next up, save it to your computer in a WAV and MP3, and then start using that demo to get your foot in the door on sites like Fiverr and Upwork and ACX. Then after a while, once you start getting some feedback and some good practice and maybe some jobs, then you can start thinking about reinvesting that into a pro demo, and that's when you can just go out and market to anyone. Well, that's it. Thanks for hanging out. I hope this video kind of gives you a good game plan for creating your first DIY demo, whether it's your first one or you just want to do a new one. Let me know in the comments if this is going to help you with your own process, or maybe if you have any additional questions on the process. And as always, if you like this content, feel free to hit the like and subscribe and notification bell so you can get this content as quickly as possible. And speaking of the freelance sites that we talked about in this video on where to put your first DIY demo, if you want to learn about the top 5 freelance sites to use when you're just getting started, check out this video right here.